These are the 7 most expensive items ever sold at auction from all categories, and their prices are unimaginable. In fact, the #1 item on the list could literally fund entire countries, and yet some experts argue it might be a fake. Let's start things off with number 7. This is the most expensive watch ever sold in history, and it took over 100,000 hours or 11 years of non-stop handcrafting to create. This is the Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime, also known as the most prestigious watch in the world. There are only 7 examples of this model, and they all belong to some of the world's most famous and richest individuals. But this particular model is by far the most desirable among collectors, and oddly, it is because it has a stainless steel case instead of a gold or platinum one. With 1,366 individual parts, the watch has 19 mechanical functions other than telling the time, including tracking moon phases and playing 5 distinct chimes. When this special stainless steel edition was up for auction in Switzerland in 2019, it was sold for an impressive $31.2 million to a mysterious but very rich collector. Would you dare wear it on your wrist? Number 6. Imagine being such a genius that the notebook you used to write down your thoughts ends up becoming the most valuable book in history. That's exactly what happened with the Codex Leicester, a notebook written over 500 years ago by one of history's greatest minds, Leonardo da Vinci. In total, Leonardo filled 30 notebooks with his ideas and observations, all of which are now held in museums or prestigious libraries, except for one, the Codex Leicester. It's the only notebook privately owned. It has changed hands several times throughout history, with its most recent sale taking place in 1994 at a New York auction. Billionaires battled for it until none other than Bill Gates placed the winning bid of $30.8 million, equivalent to $65 million in today's money, making it the most expensive book ever sold. Gates ensured the pages were digitized so the public could access them, but be aware, you'll need a mirror to decipher them, as Leonardo wrote the entire notebook in reverse. Number 5. This is a 40-acre pristine private island, and this? It's a diamond ring. And guess what? The ring is more expensive. This ring is actually the most expensive jewel in the world because it is mounted with the legendary pink star diamond, an absolute miracle of nature. Here is what makes it so special. First, it is a pink diamond, which make up less than 0.1% of the world's diamond production, and this one has the highest color grade possible, is completely flawless, and weighs an unbelievable 59.60 carats. When it was found, the rough diamond weighed 132.5 carats, and the people in charge of cutting it were so scared and careful that it took them 20 months to cut it into its final form, which was then mounted on a ring and sold during an auction in Hong Kong. In the end, it's a multi-billion-dollar Chinese corporation that bought it for an astounding $71.2 million, setting a new world record for a diamond. Is it fair to say this is the ultimate wedding ring? Number 4. This statue took just one night and $250 worth of bronze to create, and yet it was sold for $144.3 million. This is Pointing Man, a statue by Swiss sculptor Alberto Giacometti that broke the record for the most expensive statue ever sold during a New York auction in 2015, when it was sold to the owner of the New York Mets and billionaire Steve Cohen. Giacometti's creations are all insanely expensive. In fact, the top 3 most expensive sculptures on Earth are all from him, and Steve Cohen already owned one of them. What sets these sculptures apart is the fact that they are said to capture the vulnerability and resilience of the human spirit. As for Pointing Man, the auction house who sold it described it as a noble figure, pointing mankind to a brighter future beyond our limited horizons. And whether you think this justifies spending more than a small country's GDP on it is up to you, but Steve Cohen certainly did. Number 3. This is the most expensive car ever sold, and its very dark history is part of what makes it so valuable. Imagine buying 578 brand new Lamborghinis all at once. That would be the same as buying one single 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupé. This car shattered records in 2022 when it was sold at auction to a mysterious buyer for a jaw-dropping $144.7 million. This car won many races in the past, but it is is most famous for being at the center of the darkest chapter in motorsports history, the 1955 Le Mans disaster. French driver Pierre Levegh, driving a 300 SLR, lost control during the race, sending his car into the stands, dying on impact along with 83 spectators, while injuring over 120 others. As sad as it is, there's no doubt that this haunting history added to the ludicrous price the car was sold for. Would you want to own it? Number 2. Imagine you're a billionaire and you're scrolling through eBay trying to find a good deal. What do you think you would be looking to buy? Well, for Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich, the answer is a $168 million, 405-foot-long luxury mega yacht. In 2023, the billionaire set a record for the most expensive item ever sold on eBay by purchasing a luxury yacht through the site's auction page, which also ranked the sale among the most expensive items ever sold at auction. When he discovered the listing, the only other bid was for $10, so he ensured the yacht would be his by placing a casual $168 million bid. Now, the oligarch is the proud owner of a floating palace equipped with 10 multi-level suites, panoramic views, private cinemas, and, naturally, a helipad, which he bought with a single click of a mouse. But this boat is actually one of the smallest in Abramovich's fleet, which includes a $500 million yacht, which is one of the biggest and most expensive in the world. Here we are, the number 1 most expensive item ever sold at auction. This piece is so expensive it could almost belong in a category of its own. It's also the most controversial item on our list. This is the Salvator Mundi. This painting was once owned by a humble Louisiana family who purchased it for only $57 in 1958. They believed it was made by an unknown Italian artist and had displayed it on their staircase ever since. But in 2005, 2 art dealers acquired it from them for $1,175, secretly suspecting it might actually be a genuine work by Leonardo da Vinci. However, this assertion has been the subject of a very intense debate among experts. In fact, only one art historian has ever confirmed it as an authentic work by Leonardo. Many argue that it was painted by one of his students rather than the master himself. What's indisputable is that the painting has suffered from several poor restorations over the centuries. Despite these controversies, the auction house that sold it marketed the painting as a genuine Da Vinci masterpiece. And, remarkably, one person believed it enough to spend an unimaginable $450 million on it, eclipsing all the other objects from this list. That person was none other than Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who acquired the painting in 2017. Since then, the Salvator Mundi has vanished from public view, its whereabouts shrouded in mystery. Some speculate it was seen aboard the prince's private yacht, but for now, these remain just rumors. All we know is that the family who originally owned it must feel quite bitter.